Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. This is Mike Hyman here with Matt today as well, the Southampton fan who we've already had on previously when the two sides met before, when it was a draw that day, wasn't it, Matt? So, this is in review of the FA Cup tie from the weekend. And, well, we said about it on Friday night that, you would have taken the cup tie and I said I'll take the league. So far we're halfway there.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. Enjoyed coming on last time, so yeah, thanks for having me back. It's always nice when you get asked back somewhere.
It shows you done something right.
But yeah, like you said, I'd have taken the cup win, because I thought, well, I was going to say it would mean more to a club like ours, but then you've got your own opinions on that. So,
well, it's not even that. Southampton are a side that have had some good cup runs, but haven't got to the final too much or anything like that. Whereas, of course, we're the holders, and I'm going to touch on this as early as I can. We were fortunate to get through the round before. It took us extra time to beat Newcastle, and even then, Smith Rowe and Aubameyang were the players that were the difference on that day, and neither of those featured at the weekend. I'll touch on the lineup a little bit as well. Aubameyang had travelled and was told, he told Arteta that he wasn't going to be available for selection not too long before kickoff. I think it was in the end. And I think at that point you've got to promote Lacazette to the starting 11. I don't understand why we made 7 changes from an Arsenal perspective and only kept in, I think it was Leno, Rob Holding, Granit Xhaka, and I can't even remember who the other player was that kept their place. But we had a strong enough bench there. And a lot of those players should have been in the starting 11 for me, yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, without meaning to sound disrespectful at all to Arsenal, because as we touched on last time, I do like Arsenal. But when I saw that team line up, my eyes just went, oh, like that. And I just thought, we're going to win this. And so, yeah, I was delighted, but I was also very surprised at the Arsenal lineup.
And we've got some comments in here through Twitter and Twitch and everything. Wenger, well, that was a long time ago. We're not going to touch on Wenger because it's not manager anymore. I think you're a little bit behind times though. You probably still think that Mesut Ozil plays for us. But obviously that happened at the weekend as well, and he's now moved on. So, as much as I wanted him to,
is it?
Yeah, Fenerbahce. As much as I wanted him to leave the club, then obviously I don't hold no malice towards him, so I wish him well on that. Yeah. But from a Southampton perspective, what did you make of the game in general? Of course, it didn't take you long to actually take the lead, did it, as well? And it was a Gabriel own goal in the end, yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the game. I mean, I thought it was a good game as far as 1-0s go. I enjoyed it obviously that little bit more because we won. But like I was saying earlier, that at no point in the game did I think Arsenal were going to score. And I'm usually quite a bedwetter when it comes to this sort of thing. I usually just think the worst. Oh, they're on the counter. Oh, we're going to concede. But there was just nothing about that Arsenal team that made me think, oh, they're going to equalise.
No, and I agree with that as well. If you look at the players that we had on the pitch, Pepe hasn't pulled up trees since signing for the club. Willian, I still don't understand why we signed him. Martinelli is still coming back to full fitness, and Eddie Nketiah, as much as he works hard and he runs around a bit, he doesn't do much else.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't. I mean, I think Forster sort of made one half save with his leg, but that was about it. I think even when you were losing, and bearing in mind, you're going out of the cup, but there was no real urgency to get forward and chuck everything at us. Which given the lineup, I think we'd have dealt with if you had, to be honest. But there wasn't that anyway from Arsenal. So I really enjoyed it, and I've watched a lot of the famous Arsenal YouTube channels, and they're very much saying the same sort of things as you said.
And I think that from a Southampton perspective, you have to look at this competition now as a competition that you can really seriously go all out in and try and win. Some of the teams that have gone out, the holders have gone out. Liverpool have gone out now. Who else has gone out? Yeah, of course, Chelsea and Spurs have gone through. But even the next tie, the tie against Wolves, isn't going to be easy. But
this is the
they,
thing, like
they made it
Troy,
hard for themselves.
Chelsea and Spurs are through, and
Man
Liverpool,
City.
Man United, Man United and Man City are through. These are all clubs that I think right the way till May, the FA Cup is always going to be second or even third on their priority list.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great time for somebody like us to really give our all to the competition. I mean, we had something similar a few years ago when Pochettino was our manager,
Mhm.
and I think it was this sort of stage. We were basically, I think we were ninth or something, and we were not going to get Europe, and we were not going to go down.
Yeah.
We were like the only team who was just guaranteed to be mid-table, and we played Sunderland in I think the fourth round. And Pochettino, for some bizarre reason, played his reserves. And as much as I like Pochettino, I've never forgiven him for that because that was just. And I think it was the year that Sunderland or someone got to the final, and I think it was. We played Sunderland that day, and I think they got to the final. And I've just never forgiven him for playing his reserves that day because there was just nothing else to go for.
Exactly, and that's from an Arsenal perspective. Yeah, we're 6 points off of the top 5 at the moment. With a couple of games played more as well. But then the FA Cup is you said it before when we were off stream. You associate Arsenal and the FA Cup, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. Arteta obviously wanted to make a lot of changes to give these players a chance, but there's such thing as changing too much, and he did that at the weekend. You don't have to make 7 changes to a side that's winning and winning consistently over the past month, 6 to 6 weeks or so. Yeah.
And the great thing, I've been growing up, and like I said, I was associated with Arsenal with the FA Cup and the FA Cup with Arsenal. But the other thing is that I didn't begrudge them. I didn't sort of begrudge associating them, if you see what I mean, because when Arsene Wenger, and even last season when you won it last season, it always seemed to mean a lot more to Arsenal, or a little bit more to Arsenal than it did to Man United or Chelsea. There was just something linking the two, and that's why I was just so surprised that you had basically chucked it away for me.
We've got a very long-winded but very valid point here from Ed as well, though. I backed Arteta through the slump, but I'm so annoyed with him now for gambling our trophy away with making so many changes. Smith Rowe and Tierney have been awesome and weren't included in the squad. Probably our last chance of a trophy this season, and it's also a route into Europe as well. If he needs to rest players, excuse me, for the league game, we ain't going to get 4th, so it's not a big game. In the league, you have to. See, I told you I had to do an interview beforehand. I'm losing my voice now. In the league, you have to go. What's he saying there? Yeah, in the league, you have a chance to put it right with loads of games, but the FA Cup is one shot. Yeah, I agree with that. And if you want to take that, mate, because I might have to just give myself a second. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely. This is what I was saying before the game. I don't think you're going to get 4th. There's a chance you could, of course, there's a chance, but actually, there's also a chance that we could get 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think either team are likely to get 4th. And for me, I just thought a trophy. If Arteta could win the FA Cup 2 years in a row, his first 2 years, what a feather in his cap that'd be. I think.
Yeah, I think I agree as well. And in regards to Mikel Arteta, it's a great opportunity to win another trophy. But as I said before, it's also not really progressing. If he's going to win the FA Cup, he's got to win the FA Cup alongside finishing higher in the league or having a solid go at the Europa League and going all out to trying to win that or get as far in that as we can.
And I think if you're going to sacrifice the FA Cup, I think you need to finish 4th at least.
Yeah.
Because if you don't finish 4th, I mean, 6th, 7th, or 5th, 6th, 7th get Europa League, but you also get Europa League by winning the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of struggle to understand.
And I don't know whether that's Arteta looking at maybe, the fact we're in 2 competitions and 2 ways into the Champions League. If we win the Europa, we'll get him through that as well. But, that's not an easy tie that we've got in the next round of that as well. That's something that, we could fall short in that tie.
Who have you got?
Europa was it was a Turkish team or something. I'm trying to remember now.
It's going to be Fenerbahce, is it?
No, it was so long ago. I can't even remember where it was. 1 second. It was like I know it was. Was it not? It might not be Turkish. Oh no, it was Benfica. Sorry, Portuguese.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So that's not an easy. That's not a walkover game.
No, absolutely not. And you can't rest players.
Knows the competition, and they'll want to win it to get in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, and we can't rest players in that. We can't have fringe players playing, or we can't make 7 changes in that because then we will go out.
Yeah.
And we, yes, there's such thing as giving players too many minutes in their legs, and some players obviously need that to be fresh and stuff as well. But at the same time, you have to look at this competition as a competition missed for Arsenal. And just looking at the lineup for tomorrow's game, potentially looks like Aubameyang's going to be missing again, according to.
But why not, from Arsenal's point of view? Why not make 2 or 3 changes outfield? And maybe have a goalkeeper as well. Why was there 9 changes? Was there? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, 7 or 9. Yeah, it might even be 9.
Why not kind of split it across both games?
Yeah, and I don't understand how some of these players. I want to touch on Balogun. Balogun, he's played really, really well in the under-23s. He's been given a few opportunities in the Europa League, and come the weekend, why not throw him in there? Why don't you put him into the starting lineup? Why don't you give him a place on the bench? And that would have paid dividends, in my opinion, because he's a different kind of striker to Nketiah. He's a goal poacher. He knows where the back of the net is. And if you look at the under 23s, I think he scored 2, or we scored a hat trick in the game that night. So,
yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, I've said to my wife actually, if we win the FA Cup and we have a child in the future, it's going to be called Ralph.
Okay, yeah, after the gaffer,
yeah, and that's regardless of gender, by the way. So,
but this is that gender debate. I saw something going out on social media today, going off topic a bit, about a girl that had a baby and called the boy it was Audrey. So yeah, that's something I saw.
Oh wow.
So, it's completely off topic, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll be playing for Arsenal with a name like that.
More than likely. But no, let's we kind of touched on the game at the weekend a little bit, but did you expect to beat us? I know you said that you probably did when you saw the lineup, but on sort of Friday night when you were sort of previewing the game, did you think you'd be able to beat us?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why I had this feeling. I guess maybe subconsciously I had a feeling you might do what you did and play that weak team. But I was pretty confident. I mean, I'm not so confident about the league game. But like I said, definitely when looking at the lineups of the 2 teams, because that was our strongest team.
Yeah, it was. And I've just seen the lineup again now. I was looking through it just a moment ago, and I think James Ward-Prowse had obviously he was involved in that game and started it, and he was fantastic. I think he got man of the match in the end, and rightly so. Yeah. And
I mean, James Ward-Prowse, I was reading the other day, he hasn't missed a minute of first-team football for I think something like 18 months.
Oh wow!
He's played every minute of every game.
Serious fitness there. Yeah.
So and unsurprisingly, covered more kilometres than anyone else in the league last season.
Yeah, that's it's another one that we were talking about on the stream earlier on in regards to Calvin Phillips going to the Euros. James Ward-Prowse has to go to the Euros for me as well, 100%.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I to be honest, all I know of Phillips is Football Manager. Yeah. He's very good on Football Manager, but I've not seen him over 90 minutes too much, so I can't really. I mean, he looks a decent prospect, but I can't really say yes, he's amazing or no, he's terrible, because I just haven't seen enough of him. But I would think James Ward-Prowse has got to be one of the first kind of names on the team sheet, or in the squad.
I'd say he gets ahead of the likes of Harry Winks or Eric Dyer or. There's a few names in there, not just Spurs players.
Well, the boy can take a set piece. Definitely. This is something we haven't had for a long time, since Beckham retired. I would say.
Most definitely.
Lampard and Gerrard took the odd. They were decent at them, but they weren't. It wasn't a specialty.
No, most definitely, and I think that if you look at some of these Englishmen that are coming through now, Bukayo Saka as well. I don't understand why he didn't get more than 15, 20 minutes at the weekend.
Yeah, no, I
You know,
think he's a very, very good player, Saka. And
that's just,
is he cap? Has he got an England cap, or has he made the squad?
Yeah, he's had a few caps. He's played a few
Yeah.
friendlies in games and that in the what's it called? That other competition now. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the National Nations League, or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
that's it. I think he's played a few in that. Yeah, yeah.
But that's the other thing. So Saka,
made the Niles actually as well.
Saka came on though, and within about 5 minutes, he was playing left back.
Yeah, but that was because we didn't have. Well, obviously Cedric was playing at left back originally, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, I tend to wipe him from my memory, to be honest. I mean, he had your kind of like second best chance, didn't he? About halfway through the Cedric, about halfway through the first half.
It wasn't really much of a chance, though.
It wasn't, really. No, but he did what Cedric does and blazed it over the bar. And this is it, like, that's kind of the name that, like, because Cedric wouldn't get into our team.
No. And ideally, he wouldn't get into our team, but we'd have to, you know, and if so, we'd play right back ahead of Hector Bellerin. Then, yeah, again, did you see Cedric take another foul throw this time?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It's the second time that he's done it, and the second time that Bellerin's done it this season or something. So, or the third time that Bellerin did it. So I think they're taking it in turns each game to who wants the foul throw.
I mean, Cedric during his time at Saints, I was not a fan of his as a player. I mean, he seemed like a really nice guy and everything. And to be fair, he scored against Pompey when we beat them 4-0, so he kind of gets a bit of credit for that. But I tell you what, Cedric's a right back, occasional left back. His crosses go into Rosed. He can't shoot.
I thought he was poor at left back. I thought he was. Considering he was covered for Kieran Tierney, like, you know, I don't understand why we're playing him. I would have started with Saka at left back.
I don't understand why you signed him, because, and like I say, he can't tackle. He gets out jumped by, you know, the likes of Nathan Dyer, who are you know 4'3". You know, he gets muscled off the ball by the likes of, if you've got a striker like, I don't know, it used to be Glenn Murray. I know he's in the Championship now, but a rough and ready striker like that.
Oh, like your Andy Carroll, someone like that.
Yeah, that sort of player. But he doesn't even need to be as big as Andy Carroll, because. But I was just kind of working out, by the time he left us, I was kind of sitting there thinking, what aspect of being a fullback is he actually good at? In fact, what aspect of being a footballer is he actually good at? Because I couldn't understand why he kept getting into. I mean, he was competing against Cuco Martina, so he was kind of the best of a bad pair. But he just couldn't shoot, couldn't tackle, couldn't cross, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And you were just thinking, well, why is he actually here? Why are we paying him money?
He can't do any of that, but you say we shouldn't have signed him. I'll still have him right back over Hector Bellerin every day of the week, though. But
yeah, fair enough. Okay.
And you know, from an Arsenal perspective, there as well, Cedric. I think there was quite a lot of pressure on Cedric after his first game, because he come off the bench and scored on his first appearance.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know he'd scored, actually.
Yeah. That was the start of last season, I think it was. I think he scored a couple of goals, and I think it was 4-0 we won that day, and I think he scored the fourth after coming on the pitch like 5 minutes beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a double-edged sword scoring on your debut, isn't it?
Most definitely. Ed's put another long-winded comment in again here as well. I do like him though. Keep him coming, Ed. Shorten them down if you can, though. Southampton could have beaten us with a full Arsenal team, but Arsenal certainly didn't do any favours. Arteta didn't learn from the mistake of changing the side for the Newcastle game. If Andy Carroll could finish, it would have been Newcastle-Southampton, and I agree with that as well. But Leno kept us in that tie, and the last minute save or two was the save that took us through to extra time in the end, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's his job, isn't it? So I never go too much on, you know, people that say, oh, we deserve to win that, or that team deserved to win that, because I always think, well, you don't get points or that wins for keeping possession and having shots that blaze over the crossbar. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm not confident of a win tomorrow. But if we drew, it wouldn't be front page news.
No, not at all. And I think if you draw, you're still 3 points ahead of us, or 2 points ahead of us anyway.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, you know, that's a good result for Southampton, and I'd be interested to see what lineup we go with, whether we play Kieran Tierney, whether we play Gabriel Martinelli. Obviously, he came off again. He's just coming back from injury. Whether Thomas Partey gets his first start, like in an Arsenal start since his injury again as well, and whether we'll play Gabriel on the back of the weekend, or whether Arteta's given him enough minutes in the leg now to maybe keep him a little bit more fresh for the weekend against Man United.
And I'll tell you what, the other thing is, I mentioned Cedric. I wouldn't take Cedric in our team. I don't think there's any Arsenal player from Saturday that I'd have taken.
No.
At Southampton, I think Lacazette. I'm quite a big Lacazette fan. I think he does a lot.
That's the bench. You could say you take Lacazette, you'll take Thomas Partey, you'll take Saka.
They were players on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean Saka, obviously. Yeah. I think Saka's would probably get into any Premier League team. I think he's that good, or at least gonna be that good. I think he's very good. But Lacazette, I think, does a lot that goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
For Arsenal, kind of, he makes those off the ball runs, and he's a very unselfish player. So I would take the likes of Lacazette. But in the Arsenal team, I don't think there's the one that played on Saturday. I don't think there's any player that would have got into our lineup.
And I'm looking here. If you look at that attack, that front, six, El Neni and Granit Xhaka in the midfield. That's mid-table midfield quality, really.
Yeah.
Xhaka's
somebody who's clearly got a lot of talent, but just for some reason chooses not to use it.
And he only picks it out when he can be bothered. Yeah.
But so he's clearly got the talent, but hasn't.
And
got
actually, Granit Xhaka, what he likes to do is wind everybody up or make a mistake, and then come back and have a game or two where he's actually all right.
Yeah.
Go back to being useless again and go sideways back.
But you could save a lot of money by going for somebody like Oriol Romeo for us, who can't do a load of keep. Well, he might be able to do a lot of keepy uppies, but he can't do. He's not the most skillful player. He's probably not technically the best midfielder in the league, but he gives his all and he puts 100% in.
Yeah, absolutely.
He puts his body on the line.
We don't really have anyone like that. We certainly didn't at the weekend. I think the only one who potentially looked like they could have actually made anything happen for us, believe it or not, was Rob Holding.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same in the league game, actually. I seem to remember him playing pretty well in the league game.
And he had that chance where he kind of let it bounce, didn't he? And he couldn't get it down. Yeah. That was probably our best chance of the game. That says it all.
Yeah, that's the one I was... Yeah. Actually, I forgot about that one, There was one where I think Forster saved not a one-on-one, but kind of one of those where you've got the striker running in and he's got two defenders either side of him.
Oh, with Eddie Nketiah, who's trying to flick it past him. Yeah.
I think so, and I think Forster... Yeah. And I think it was one of these where the offside flag might have gone up.
I think he was off anyway. Yeah,
but maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But like I said, just nothing about Arsenal made me think, oh, they're going to score, or oh, they really want this, or oh, we're lucky to be in front. It was just kind of like it didn't occur to me that we weren't going to win.
And we've got, with the FA Cup here, we've got 5 subs available that we can actually use as well. And I think you made 2 and we made 3. But that was only because we needed to make those ones. And Lacazette come on. What did he get? 18 minutes. Partey got 32. Saka got 33, or vice versa, something like that. But then if you look at the bench as well, who else have we got on the bench that can come on and make a difference? We have Maitland-Niles, Chambers, Joe Willett, and David Luiz, and then the 2 goalkeepers.
So there was just nobody that could. No. Yeah, there was nobody that worried me. Saka and Lacazette would have worried me had they come on half an hour earlier.
Mm-hmm. And I think that Bukayo Saka is a fantastic player. And actually, when those 3 came on, we did look a little bit better, really, for having those 3 involved in the team. And I also thought we looked better for taking off Bellerin and El Neni as well. But actually, we were already 1-0 down by that point, and Southampton are very good at seeing games out. Actually, when they're 1 up.
No, that's something we've been very good at, and I can't remember who else we bought on, because we bought on Dan and Lunderloo.
Yeah, and also
20-year-old who's played about 7 games,
and Shane Long. Yeah.
Oh, and Shane Long, of course. Yeah, so there was. Dan and London. We're 1-0 up against Arsenal, the FA Cup holders, and we're bringing on the likes of Dan and Lunderloo to get some match practice in, because he's still young and He scored in the last round. Fair play. I
Yeah.
really like the look of him. Actually, I
On
think he's a
Tuesday night as well, wasn't it, against Shrewsbury?
Yeah. Good goal as well. I think he's going to be a very, very good player. But it's just the fact that we brought him on. We brought on a striker just to give him some minutes. 1-0 up against Arsenal in the FA Cup, and that kind of tells the story.
It wouldn't have been a surprise for me if you brought on the likes of Watson, Jorke as well, just to rub it in. But
I mean, those people, those guys on Tuesday night they played. They both have absolute crackers. I'd never heard of them before, and I follow the youth teams quite a lot, and I'd never heard of them.
But there's quite a lot of these teams coming through with some excellent, sort of young youth academy projects now, prospects now rather than projects, I should say. Arsenal being one there with Barnagan, as I said before, but I think Nketiah also come through the ranks as well and had that loan spell with Leeds. And for me, he's not. Arsenal should be looking at him as even a backup striker. We've got him for Odegaard now, and hopefully that means the end of Willian. Especially in that position, playing off the striker as well, because I didn't really rate him anyway. I thought he had one good game. It was the first game of the season against Fulham, and then after that, he's gone on and done nothing. And then he's playing off of the striker, and he's running around like a headless chicken half the time.
I mean, I thought he was a good signing when he went to Arsenal, but all he's done is kind of prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I'm basing it on a very good free kick he scored against us for Chelsea years ago. So I'm one of these people that once I've decided I like a player or I don't like a player, it's quite hard to change my mind.
Yeah. Even if it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. I'm still campaigning for Ali Dia to get into our team again.
I remember.
Yeah, we've got a pretty solid. I mean, we've always got a solid youth academy, but this crop at the moment seem to be stepping up, and we're going to see that tomorrow, I think, because our both fullbacks are out.
Yeah, one's injured, one's suspended.
Yeah. Carl Walker-Peters has got they're saying it's just should be back for the weekend. Ryan Bertrand suspended. So we're going to see right back Jan Valery.
Yeah.
Who was Cedric's understudy for a couple of years. And we'll see Jake Vokins is it Jake or Sam? No, I think it's Jake Vokins. I don't even know his first name. But yeah, he looks very, very good.
He's one of the younger lads. Oh, wow. So it'd be interesting to see if Arsenal really go at him with the likes of Smith Rowe and Saka and see what Arsenal not come out.
This is where I think the young players are going to show their worth, or should show their worth, because it's all very well bringing these players on for 2-3 minute cameos when we're 3-0 up, but tomorrow I think they're going to have to step up. And what I like about our academy as well is if they don't make the first team, if they're not quite good enough to make the first team, what we've got is a plan in place where we'll find them a new club and kind of keep tabs on them and keep in touch with them and everything.
So not many clubs have that. That's really good.
So that's kind of helped them settle in. Like Matt Targett has gone to Aston Villa and been a decent enough, not quite good enough for our first team, but at the time Villa were, I think they'd just been a bit promoted again. And so he's gone there and done all right for himself. Well, we've got 15 million for him.
They ran us ragged at the Emirates Villa as well. They smashed us 3-0, which is our worst season.
So he's gone on and had a very good career. So that's what I like about. I mean, our academy is we don't just produce players for the first team. It's kind of like if they don't get in the first team, they do all right elsewhere.
Russ has said that Eddie Nketiah didn't do much for Leeds. Don't understand why he's playing for Arsenal when he's not good enough for a top-end championship side as they were at that time when he was on his loan spell. I agree with that, largely as well. I think that he's not good enough to play for Arsenal. He's certainly not good enough to lead the line on his own. I think if he's going to play up front, he has to have somebody there supporting him, albeit whether that's Aubameyang or Lacazette, one or the other. Yeah.
I don't know too much about him actually.
There's probably not an awful lot to know about him. He's not fantastic. They said he was great in the under 23s for 23s or 21s for England. He's got he broke the record, broke Shearer's record, but at club level he's never been fantastic. For the academy, he's not pulled up any trees really from it. Yeah.
Hey, David Nugent was good for the England under 23s.
Yeah. And he scored for the seniors as well, didn't he? He scored one goal for the seniors.
He did, actually, to be fair. He's got that's the Sam Allardyce record of doing it in 100% of what he played.
I think he scored a tap in from on the goal line, if I remember
Yes,
rightly.
yeah. I think it was Jermaine Defoe who had the shot.
Yeah. And talking of England a little bit as well. I think Rob Holding's another player that could actually possibly break into that England setup if he gets given enough minutes for Arsenal. And he's one of the Arsenal shining lights, as I said before. It was quite interesting to see him partner Gabriel, in my opinion, because Gabriel has been out for a number of weeks now with the back effects of coronavirus, and he's thrown in at this game. And I thought he looked a bit lost. I thought he, compared to the Gabriel that we had before coronavirus, when he was playing against Man United and played a few games at the start of the season as well, he looked like he was a complete shadow of himself at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Holding is one of these that I think, because he gets a lot of stick, doesn't he, from Arsenal fans, Holding?
Yeah.
Now, I've always thought he's a very good player, but then I'm quite limited. I see the match of the day highlights and that's it. But I've seen him twice for 90 minutes in a month, and he's been one of your best players in both games.
I think I have to agree as well in regards to that. And I wanted to touch back on that front five again as well. Nicolas Pepe, we have to mention him. It says he played at the weekend. Was he there?
I didn't notice him on the pitch.
I didn't notice him at all. I thought it was awful.
Yeah. He's probably the one name that I looked at and thought he could cause us problems.
Yeah.
Because he certainly is another one. He's got the talent. He's got the ability. Because we've seen it. I mean, we've seen flashes of it at Arsenal. So yeah. So he's kind of like he's got it. And I looked at that and thought he could hurt. Well, what I thought was he could hurt us, but I don't think he's going to.
No, exactly. Like, the majority of realistic Arsenal fans know that Nicolas Pepe has it in his locker from doing it in cup games, Europa League games, League Cup games, FA Cup games, whatever it may be. But 99% of the time he won't, because he doesn't show up for the big occasion. He doesn't show up for any occasion really, and it's a definite waste of the money that we paid for him.
But yeah, like I said, could hurt us, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
But I think that could be said of a lot of Arsenal players.
Yeah, well, that's, Ian Willian and Martinelli as well, and even the ones that came off the bench, like some Lacazette and stuff as well.
I mean, one question I'll ask you, because I'll have to shoot off in a minute. But what I want to ask is, if we beat you tomorrow, Arteta's in trouble, isn't he? Arsenal are, because otherwise, what was the point of wasting all those players? Yeah. Even a draw, I don't think is good enough for Arsenal. I think you've got to beat us now.
100%, and I think we will. I do think we'll win the game. Do I think it'll be easy? No, because it never is against you lot. We've seen that twice already in the month that we played you. We've lost one and drawn one, and even the draw you went 1-0 up, and I think was it Theo scored that day?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that took us a while to get back and level that one. But yeah, I think we have to look on it that it's a must-win game for Mikel Arteta because there's teams below us that can start to close the gap. Because as I said before, we played 2 games more than some of those teams, and I think we're only 4 points off of the top 5. But if some of those teams start to win their games in hand, then we could be, where are we now? 11th. We could be about 14th, 15th again.
But Arteta, for me, by making that decision to play the reserves at the weekend, he's kind of piled the pressure onto himself, because you could say that his plan's half worked so far. He's out. It hasn't, but by playing that team, I think he kind of maybe thought that they were going to lose anyway, so we might as well put all the effort into the league game. And by doing that, he's just piled the pressure onto himself, because now you've got to beat us.
Yeah. As I said before, it wasn't easy the last time. We only got a draw against you before, and maybe we'll be able to take a bit of an advantage on the fact that Walker Peters and Bertrand are unavailable. It all depends on the lineup that we've got, whether Tierney's fit, whether Smith Rowe, whether Martinelli plays, whether Aubameyang is able to deal with his personal issues in time, and Lacazette as well, and things like that. But I said to you at the weekend, I'm a little bit harsh, and it might be old school, but as the manager, I'd have said to Aubameyang, right, you've travelled with us, knowing that there's personal issues going on, because obviously he would have known that beforehand.
Yeah.
So, if you can't see it out, then we'll give you 45 minutes, see how you get on, and then we'll send you home early. But or just wait until after the game. That might be a little bit harsh. People might look at that and think, well, the guy's got his family or personal issues going on. You've got to look at that and take that into account. But Smith Rowe was already out of the squad. Lacazette was already going to be benched. Saka was already benched. Partey was already benched. Aubameyang, for me, would have started that game. I don't know. I think Eddie Nketiah coming into the starting lineup was because Aubameyang wasn't there. I think Aubameyang, the form that he's been in, and where he's just started to get to now, was the Aubameyang that we needed to get to at the weekend to actually carry on that goal scoring form, which he's kind of gradually got from the last 2 games or so now.
Yeah, and for me, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night because I'm looking forward to being able to, enjoy the game, knowing that obviously you're never happy at losing, but if we lose, it's not the end of the world. We've gone through in the cup, which is what I've wanted. As long as we give it, we've got 2 fullbacks. We've got a whole list of other injuries as well.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure on us for me whatsoever.
And we'll see what happens. Obviously, you said you wanted the cup, and you've got that. So hopefully we can have the league win that I said about and go from there. But as I said before, it was great to have you on this again, to have your opinion.
Thank you very much.
I'll probably start to wrap it up if you're going to go, because I don't think there's
I'm going to have to get off. But I shall speak to you tomorrow in some way, shape, or form, and let's hope for a good game.
I think we're going to be streaming, doing a watch along as well. So you get some raw reactions and stuff, which would be nice for people to see. So no, thanks for having me. That's all right, mate. And
I hope you have a good day until about 8 o'clock.
I'm sure I will, mate. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Nice one. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. We're going to end it there. And of course, I did just mention before, we're going to have a live watch along of the game tomorrow as well, with myself and Matt, and possibly maybe even Wayne or anybody else that wants to join. And of course, we won't be able to show the game. We'll be watching the game ourselves, but you will get a sense of the game that we're watching and the raw reactions and things like that. But thank you for listening to this Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast, talking a little bit about Southampton's 1-0 victory over Arsenal at the weekend, where Arsenal, the FA Cup holders, were knocked out via the Gabriel own goal in the end, which was taking a deflection on the Kyle Walker-Peters cross early on in the 24th minute. And let's hope it doesn't happen again tomorrow. So thank you for listening and watching, everyone. And let's see if we can turn it around tomorrow. Come on, the Arsenal, and let's see what happens.